Being a parent of middle school students, my wife and I, we spend a lot of time helping our sons navigate relationships. I don't think there's another season in life such as middle school where relationships are so complicated. It's a time in life where kids become really self-conscious about themselves. It's a time when boys and girls start to notice each other in very different ways. And when you watch middle schoolers interact with each other, there's this innate sense that they don't feel like they can be themselves when they're around their peers. They always feel like there's a show they have to put on. There's some certain level of social conformity that they have to adhere to. And so they try really hard to fit into the group with which they want to fit in. They try real hard to be accepted by the people that they want to be accepted by. And I remember 7th grade, 8th grade, walking the halls of my junior high school and feeling the same way, feeling like that I had to act a certain way and behave a certain way and dress a certain way and talk a certain way to be accepted by the people that I wanted to accept me and to be liked by the people that I wanted to like me. It was also during that same season of life that I started asking some questions about God and His acceptance of me and God's love for me. I'd been told thousands of times as a kid growing up in church that God loved me, but I always assumed that God's love for me was based on my behavior and my conformity to His way of doing things, following all the rules and checking off all the right boxes. And as a junior high student, as a young person, I started to realize that God's way of doing things was pretty complicated. I was perpetually failing to meet His standard. And not to mention, a lot of God's ways of doing things were kind of boring, and I just wasn't really into it anymore. So I ended up walking away from God, walking away from the church. Fortunately, later in my life, I had a reboot. I had an opportunity to re-engage with God and re-engage in my spiritual life. And one of the things that really helped me during that season was the ability to sort of relearn some of these things about God that maybe I hadn't learned properly. I had maybe misunderstood some things about who God was and His acceptance of me. One of the things that I grew to realize was that God didn't base His acceptance of me on how I behaved or how I acted, but how my heart was towards His Son Jesus. I've met a lot of people, a lot of adults in my life who have shared similar experiences, being really frustrated with not being good enough for God, not feeling like they measured up, feeling like they didn't fit in because they didn't conform to all the rules and all the regulations. We've been studying some statements that Jesus made at Grasslands Church in Medicine Hat over the course of the last few weeks. This past Sunday, we were observing a statement that Jesus made where He calls Himself a vine and He refers to us as branches. What He's talking about is His desire to be connected with us. In fact, most translations of the Bible actually use this word abide. Jesus says, "Abide in me and I will abide in you." And abide isn't a word that we typically use in our English vernacular today, but I think most of us would realize that this word abide is a relational word. It's about being in a relationship. It's not about conformity. It's not about rules. It's not about a checklist. It's not about fitting in, but it's about belonging in a relationship. And that's ultimately what Jesus wants from us. He wants us to abide in Him and to be in a relationship with Him. In that same passage, that same statement, that same area where Jesus is talking about abiding, He refers to His disciples, people that follow Him, as His friends. That's a very different picture than what most of us have when it comes to God. We don't think about God as being a friend. We think about it as being a judge and a ruler. And He is certainly those things, but He calls us to be His friend. Hey, if this is something that's interesting to you, I encourage you to click onto our website, grasslandschurch.com. You can find the teaching from this past Sunday on the resources page of our website. If you don't have a church that you call home, you can come and explore with us in person on Sunday mornings. We meet at 10:15 a.m. at 221 North Railway Street in Medicine Hat. Everyone is welcome. We would love for you to come and join us and let us help you walk through and navigate your own relationship with God.